Hi, I'm Brian Pfeiffer, aka the Marketing Meathead, and today we're going to talk about Facebook traffic and click-through ratio. All right, welcome back. Please read the disclaimer. We're not really talking about financial advice today, but it's always good to have that disclaimer. All right, let's get started. So let's talk about Facebook traffic and a couple things that I find fairly interesting right now. This is Google Trends, okay? If you take a look at Google Trends, this is kind of when Facebook first started down here in October of 2015. You can start to see some traffic, and then it's been a steady rise up until about looks like 2011 was the peak, right around here actually, 2011 February, and then there's been some spikes and some valleys, and then it's kind of been on a little bit of a downturn here overall. This is the lifetime history of Facebook traffic. If we go to the past 5 years, you can kind of really see this here. There's been a couple big spikes certain times of the year. Looks like August, another one here in February, but then overall the last maybe 2 years here, looks like it's been really a little bit on the downtick, which I'm not surprised. So let's go past 12 months here. So take a look here. We peaked out, it looks like, in August of 2017, and since then it's been steadily going down a little bit, and then a little rise up here, and then it looks like it's kind of on the downtick again. So what's that tell me? Well, just based on talking to some of the people that I'm involved with in the nightclub and industry that I'm involved in, some of the younger kids, especially the people that are like in college right now, they're not really on Facebook, to be honest with you. They're kind of more on like Snapchat and Instagram. That's kind of their platform right now. Facebook is like what their parents do. So it's kind of interesting. Some of the new generation is coming out into the social media world is not necessarily on Facebook, which is, it is what it is. It's a trend, and it's something to definitely consider going into the future to get to these millennials, where they're going to be, whether it's going to be on a platform like Facebook, or if it's going to be more on like a Snapchat or Instagram. Now, Instagram obviously is part of Facebook. It's owned by the same company, but then you got all those messenger apps like WhatsApp, Messenger. There's WeChat, Discord, Telegram. There's so many of them now. Those are also places where you're going to find a lot of people. Is Facebook traffic dead? I don't think so. I think there's still a lot of money to be made on Facebook. I think as the traffic continues to slowly decline, the cost to advertise is going to go up. It's basically a simple supply and demand formula. When the demand is higher than the supply, the price goes up, and if the supply is higher than the demand, the price goes down. Well, if what we can see here is true with Google Trends, that there's going to be probably a less supply of traffic, and as people get smarter, and tools like ClickFunnels, which you can find a link below if you'd like to try that out, and it is an affiliate link, and tools like that, and different softwares and stuff become available and more easy to use for like the average retail traffic buyer, media buyer, whatever you'd like to call it. Things are going to get easier, and more people are going to be buying that traffic, trying to get more customers for their business and whatnot, as well as the big brands, of course, that are advertising digitally. So that just tells me pricing is going to go up. Is there still opportunity? Absolutely. We are still making money daily with Facebook. We were making more money probably 2 years ago than we are now overall, like on a day-to-day basis, but we're still doing pretty well. So the opportunity still is there, but for how long, I don't know. So I would just like to let you guys know that there's the window of opportunity, I think, on Facebook and marketing in general on some of these digital channels is a limited resource. And if you're going to get into this stuff, now is the time, because if you continue to wait, another year goes by, 6 months, 8 months, it may not be the same conversation we're having right now. It may be that, you know, things just are just too expensive, kind of like what happened to AdWords in Google, and a lot of the you know, industries right now. People are paying like a ridiculous amount per click for their AdWords, and unless you have a very strong business with a back end and LTV, long-term value of a customer, a high LTV, it's very hard to make money on those clicks. Okay, so let's take a look at, like, you know, when you do have the traffic and you are running ads, there's a thing out there called the click-through ratio. Okay, and what it is basically is the average click-through ratio is basically how, you know, how often, you know, an ad gets shown and then it actually gets clicked on. Okay, so for example, if you have 100 views of an ad and, you know, 2 people click on that, that would be like a 2% click-through ratio. Okay, so let's take a look at what the average views are for like a couple different industries here on Facebook, and I want to show you guys some interesting statistics here. Okay, so this is the average click-through rate, and this is an article that's fairly recent here. It was April 9th, 2018, so it's just over a month old, and it looks like they did a pretty nice job here on some infographics. You can just do a simple Google if you'd like to find, you know, just Google Facebook average click-through rate, and you can find this article. So I can also put a link for this below, and you can click on it and take a look here. But like the average click-through rate based on, you know, these are like industries. Okay, so it's actually kind of nice here to see it in a form like this instead of a graph. Now the graph is interesting, but you can see that the average click-through rate is generally between about 0.5% and about 1.5%. Okay, at the very high end, retail here and legal, just over 1.5%, and you know, down to the low end, which is about 0.4 there. I saw 0.4 something was the low end, and my mouse is kind of touchy-feely here. 0.47 in employment and job training. Okay, so let's just say the average click-through rate is basically 1%. Okay, 0.05 to 1.5 is the range, but 1% across the board. Okay. Generally, we found when we're advertising on Facebook, if we're not running at least at 4%, 3.5 to 4% click-through ratio, we're not profitable in terms of affiliate marketing. So, you know, how are we beating the average by so much? You know, how is it even possible for the average of all the people buying ads on Facebook to be around 1%, and we're like not even profitable and not making money unless we're at like 3.5 to say 6%. That's generally kind of our sweet spot in the verticals we've been running. I want to show you an image here of an offer that we were running. It's pretty interesting here. I had it pulled up here, but I'll pull it up again. This is an offer that we were running in the health and diet niche. Okay, and this is really, really interesting. Okay, take a look at our click-through ratio on this particular image on this offer. Okay, now you can see here that our average click-through ratio on the lowest end was around 24%, and then we had some as high as 32%. Okay, how in the heck are we doing that? Okay, well, it's a combination of understanding the Facebook psychology and understanding the, you know, the ins and outs of how people are thinking on their Facebook, you know, feed when they're scrolling through. Obviously, it has a little bit to do with some of the targeting we're doing. It has a little bit to do with the copy we write. It has a little bit to do with emojis we use. It has a little bit to do whether we're advertising on mobile or desktop. There's a lot of factors that are in play here for us to be able to go out and get a 32% click-through ratio when the average is, you can clearly see here, 1%. Okay, so how do we do that? I mean, you know, that's the question. Well, you know, we have a training coming out here next week. We're going to be doing a launch, and it's not something that I can just show you guys in a quick, you know, 10-15 minute YouTube video. I actually have a whole series on image training and psychology in the training that I'm going to be putting out next week. That's going to actually show you guys how that, you know, how we've been able to accomplish this. You know, we don't have to get these kind of click-through ratios on every offer we run to be profitable. Like I said, in the verticals that we're running like today that we're making money with today, we're only averaging about 4 to 6%, which is still way above the average. I mean, we're talking 4 or 6 times the average click-through rate, and we're very profitable. Okay, very nice margins on the stuff we're running right now at 4 to 6%. But at 32% or even 24% on the low end here, you have to have a pretty crappy ad or pretty crappy copy and pretty crappy offer to not make money. Okay, if you're getting this kind of click-through ratio and you have any kind of a decent, back end as far as like an advertorial or a Quizlander and a decent offer that has some conversions and history of conversions, then you pretty much can't help but make money with these kind of click-through rates. So, that's what I wanted to cover today, just to show you guys out there what's possible. If you're interested in learning more about how we were able to accomplish these kind of click-through rates, I'm going to leave go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I am going to put a link as soon as we have the free training coming up here. It's going to be, I think, next Wednesday at noon Pacific Standard Time. As soon as I have the link available for that, I'll go ahead and add that to this video. So check back on this video for that link if you want to sign up for our free training next Wednesday. It's going to be about an hour training, kind of giving you guys some ins and outs of how we're actually able to accomplish these things and turn a nice profit on Facebook on a daily basis. But if you do like what you saw today and you learned something, I would appreciate if you guys would give me a thumbs up and go ahead and bang that notifications bell. I am the Marketing Meathead. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.